A lot of tropical moisture all across the Gulf Coast, including our invest that we'll talk about. But some of the rains that we saw today can be heavy. That's going to be the issue going forward over the next several days. Whatever rain we do see, there is ample moisture available for some big downpours, and some rainfall rates at times could exceed 3 to 6 inches of rain per hour. Now, thankfully, it looks like the trend will be a lot of the rain moving, but when you get any kind of back building or storms that just keep moving over the same areas, then flooding becomes a concern. Kind of a weak little disturbance, but one nonetheless will be moving our way tonight and into tomorrow. That's what will trigger the better chance of rain tomorrow. We get a little bit of a lull Wednesday, and then we'll be watching whatever Invest 90L does. And it is being designated as an invest. What does that mean? Well, it just means computer models are now being run on that, so we start to get the spaghetti plot. We get a better idea of whether or not this system can even move out over the Gulf waters. Let's start with exactly where is this. We're starting to see a little bit more detail out of the radar in Brownsville, and the Hurricane Center is saying that the center of the invest, or what loose center there is right there. But you kind of look at radar returns here. You've got storms moving in from the south, but then also a little bit of activity maybe just east of the invest moving in from the north. So the center could be more of like here. There is no real center, which makes forecasting these systems a little bit more difficult. What we do know is, at least in its current environment, even though it is over land, it is making use of that deep moisture, and thunderstorms are still ongoing and heavy. Now, what does the modeling say? Well, by early Wednesday, so during the day tomorrow, this is still out over land, but early tomorrow, it could try and emerge in the Gulf waters. How long does it stay over the Gulf waters? Well, the spaghetti plots say probably until the late afternoon, early evening, so maybe about 14, 15 hours or so. That would be the time that it would be able to develop into a depression or maybe a storm, because once it moves inland around Galveston, that chance is over. Continuing up toward the northeast, we'll get our heavy rainfall from it on Thursday, and then it's done. Now, within that window of moving into the Gulf waters, look at this. Wind shear starts increasing as soon as it gets over the water. So it is a lot more than just warm surface water temperature. It's the Gulf in June. It's warm. So we look at the upper atmosphere. Strong wind shear would likely keep this a very weak system, if it's able to even organize into a named storm or maybe a depression. Modeling continues to indicate no real organization in terms of it tightening up, becoming a depression or storm, which is why the Hurricane Center maintaining that 50% chance. We get that moisture over us, at least the heavy rainfall, on Thursday, and then by Friday, we're already starting to dry out. Now, through tonight, the main flooding threat remains off to our west. It does start shifting our way tomorrow. Note, most of our area under a level 2 threat. That does continue on into Wednesday, but we see that level 3 threat inch a little bit closer on Thursday. The key is going to be exactly where that system goes with regard to how much rain we actually get in southeast Louisiana. There's certainly the potential for 3 to 6 plus inches of rainfall. Area is under a flood watch because of that. But the area that is underneath the path of that low, or depression, whatever it is, they're the ones that could potentially see 10 plus inches of rain. Locally, we're expecting, again, roughly 3 at the most of 5 or 6 inches. That too would cause some flooding concerns, and we'll be watching over the next several days. So we'll keep the weather impact alert up. Most of our rainfall, first disturbance tomorrow. A little bit drier by Wednesday. In fact, one of our models is kind of keeping us mostly dry Wednesday. That'd be great. Then by Thursday, more rain from our invest. We keep the rain chances at about 50% for Friday. Then we do start drying out, but heating up into the weekend.